Playing drums is all about muscle. Okay, not really. Let's be serious. There's a lot going on when we play drums. We have a lot going on in our mind, a lot going on in our ears. But at the end of the day, I would urge you to think about the importance of muscle in our body. A lot of people talk about bones, including myself. If you don't have a healthy muscle system and you can't control your body, you can't play this physical instrument. That also means that the more we understand about muscle and we dispel myths and we really think about what muscle does in our body, it produces force. And if we can master that and potentially enhance that, that means that all of our precision and speed and performance and health on this instrument only gets better. We should all start to learn how to appreciate muscle. Not necessarily becoming a bodybuilder, but the role of muscle in performance, and talk about how we can make it better. We all know what this is. We have a bone. And a lot of people I've talked to think bones are what move us. Now, it is very important for us to know that we need bones in these lever systems for us to move. However, our bones do not move us. Our muscles move us. And on this bone, we have multiple muscular attachments that create voluntary contraction to help us move. So at the end of the day, bones don't move us. They're required for us to move, but it is muscle that helps us move. In fact, if you think of any tissue in the body, ligaments, fascia, bone, nerves, the brain, muscles, and you think about which ones have voluntary control over our system to help us move, a lot are involved. Our mind is very involved with how we move, but it is muscles that execute our motion. How do you think about muscles? Do you think about muscles being more like elastic bands or being more like ropes? In my business, most of the clients I have come in here think about muscles being more like elastics with this compliance and return, and that's where stretching is such a popular word. I'd ask you to dispel that myth. I want you to think about muscles being like a rope, in that our muscles are rigid and tight and do have elastic qualities with a small amount of elastin, but they're mostly made up of collagen, which means they're very tense and have a lot of sturdy ability to produce force and tolerate force. Our muscles contract by taking myosin and actin and pulling them together and almost bunching up in a way, which is what allows for our muscle to kind of change shape when we go through motions. You can envision muscle much like rope, but being like a Chinese finger trap, in that you have these long fibers when you're lengthened, and as they pull themselves together across each piece, they kind of cinch up and push up a little bit. But like a Chinese finger trap, they're very taut and don't really stretch. This is one of the reasons why I might suggest that you don't consider stretching as a part of your warm-up procedure if you really want to warm up, to increase your ability on this instrument and decrease the risk of injury. Muscle will not slow you down. Now, one of the most common things I've heard is that bulking up or getting too muscular will actually slow your ability to perform. I hear this from professional athletes, I hear this from seniors who want to continue curling, and I hear it from musicians. Now, there is an amount of tissue you put on your body that could slow you down, but I almost guarantee anybody who's watching this is not going to get that level. In fact, you can easily go on Instagram and find an IFBB pro bodybuilder who is very muscular, who is in a metal band and is absolutely not slow. In fact, probably one of the fastest drummers that I've ever seen. Muscle won't slow you down. In fact, it will make you faster and more precise. The last tip that I will give you today in regards to muscle is that muscle does not voluntarily tighten up for no reason at all. Tinnitus, tendinitis, all these other myositis that come with your body. I've heard so many different people come into my office or talk to me that are drummers telling me they're experiencing tension in their body and they don't know why it's there. And they just inherit it or all of a sudden have this tension in their muscle and they don't know what happened. Unless you have an underlying disease or you've just had a surgery or a really traumatic injury, muscles don't tighten up for no reason at all. In fact, they tighten up for a reason. Potentially these tensions can come from injuries, overuse, trauma, surgeries, poor nutrition, chemicals you're taking or medicine. But ultimately, I will tell you that muscles do not tense up for no reason at all. They tense up with a purpose. And I would just throw this out there again, and please stay tuned for another video because we're going to dive into this topic. If you have tight muscles and you think that they're there and they're bad, I can guarantee you they're annoying, but they're probably not like a disease bad. And maybe stretching them and yanking on them and pulling on something to try to release it may not be the best idea. Maybe rest is the best idea. Or maybe getting a healthier diet might be a best idea. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, your biomechanics and fitness resource for the modern drummer. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this video. Maybe it's a bit controversial, but I'd love to hear what you think about muscle. And I've got a lot more we can talk about. We can dive into more of the neuroscience of it if you'd like. Let me know what you think. Stay healthy.